Am I really good enough for you? You are the one I want. I don't want to marry anyone else. My fiancée, Emily, said this with a smile. Moreover, Emily is a president's daughter. I, a single part-time employee in my 30s, was an unlikely match for her. My name is Michael. I've been dating Emily for 3 years. Our meeting was thanks to a high school classmate, David, who took me to a matchmaking party. It was a small gathering, held locally, with people from nearby areas participating. There, Emily, who had approached me while I was spacing out, talked to me. At the party, being a part-time employee, I got cold attitudes from the women who looked down on me. I've been working part-time to take care of my sick mother, but she's getting better, and now I'm aiming for a full-time position. I honestly shared, but the chilly gazes remained. Well, I guess it can't be helped. I was almost giving up when Emily showed a completely opposite attitude. Oh, you work in the deli section of a supermarket. Then you must be good at cooking. Well, I am good at making quiches. Quiches. I love quiche Lorraine. Unlike me, Emily was an office worker at a mid-sized company. She had a stable salary and was in her early 20s, so young. I couldn't understand why she approached someone like me. Because you looked as bored as me, she replied with a laugh when I asked. Then she asked me, "Hey, which supermarket do you work at?" I worked at a small, long-standing supermarket in this town. When I told her the name of the supermarket I worked at, she smiled contentedly and said, "I've decided. I'm going to date you." What? I was surprised by her words. Of course, unless you don't like it. No, not at all. I'm the one who should say, "Thank you so much." That's how I started dating her. Sorry to ask again, but are you really sure about someone like me? When I asked for confirmation, she replied in a sulky manner, "Because I wanted to be with you." As we were in our 30s, naturally we thought about marriage. But Emily was still 24. She was more than 10 years younger than me, and from an outsider's perspective, she might have seemed to have chosen the wrong partner. I don't need a reason to like you, or, is there something you're dissatisfied with? No, of course not. It's just that sometimes I wonder why me. There was another reason I hesitated about dating her. It was because she was a president's daughter. Moreover, to my surprise, the president of the company that owns the supermarket you work at is my father. She confessed this to me within a week of dating. That's why, when I met you at the matchmaking party, I felt there must be some connection with you, Emily said. I was speechless at her words. She had been encouraged to go on matchmaking dates before but never found anyone interesting, so she decided to go to a party with a friend. Yet, an office worker from a mid-sized company and a part-time supermarket employee like me. Even that was an unlikely match, let alone the fact that her family owned a business. You don't want to break up, do you? Just as I was about to say we were an unlikely match, she glared at me. While I was stunned, I apologized to her, looking down, saying, "No, it's not like that, sorry. Time flew by just like that, and it was only a few days ago that she said, "I think it's about time we start thinking about getting married." I said, "Of course, I've been thinking about it too," and she smiled, took something out of her bag, and held it out to me. "Here you go, an engagement ring. Isn't it usually the man who gives that?" When I told her my surprise, she said, "It's okay, isn't it? A woman can give it too." And that's how we became engaged. Now, I had to meet her parents. "Won't your parents oppose us?" "Don't worry, my dad isn't that kind of strict person." Okay, but still, a part-timer like me and you, it's like we're from different worlds. That doesn't matter, I want you. Hearing Emily say that, I fell silent. Right, my job now is to make Emily happy. It's the first time I've met someone who cares so much about me. I realized I had to cherish her. Got it, I'll try my best to become the man worthy of you. I smiled and replied to her, "I don't know if your parents will like me, but I'll do my best." "Thank you." When we went to greet her parents, surprisingly, they accepted me smoothly. Her father, as I heard, was a son-in-law himself, and had come from the countryside when he was young, struggling a lot. He had a tough time when he wanted to marry because her grandfather, who ran the supermarket, opposed it initially. Because of that, he thought that when his daughter brought home a marriage partner, he would approve unless there was a serious reason not to. I vowed to her parents to make her absolutely happy. Then we were busy preparing for the wedding, and before we knew it, the day arrived. At her request, we had a small wedding with close friends and colleagues at a restaurant we rented out. We had already greeted the family, so they didn't come. It was a casual party. I was nervous all morning and went to the venue. Little did I know that a terrible misfortune would strike on the wedding day. It happened right before the party started. My boss, Jack, suddenly came up to me and asked, "Hey, how did a guy like you manage to win over the boss's daughter? Did you do something shady?" "Jack, what are you talking about?" I was shocked by Jack's sudden comment. He was supposed to be happy for my wedding. I couldn't believe I was hearing such words. Everyone at work is gossiping. They say Michael must have used some dirty tricks to win the president's daughter's heart. Yeah, right. Like a part-timer could marry a president's daughter. Jack and other colleagues chuckled at me. People around started to glance over. A tense atmosphere surrounded us, and all I could do was bow my head and endure. "What's going on here?" Then, Emily's angry voice echoed. She stepped forward to defend me, and continued, "Stop saying weird things. And I know, there was a time when he was supposed to be promoted to full-time, but you crushed it. You even deliberately put a foreign object in his quiches to create a complaint." "Emily, that was just my guess." As I tried to stop her, Jack blurted out, "Why does the lady know about that?" Then, frowning, he made a face as if realizing he had slipped up. I was stunned. There had been talks about my full-time promotion a few years ago. But a few days later, a complaint arose about a foreign object found in the quiches I was in charge of cooking. This led to the full-time employment opportunity being scrapped. At the time, when I heard about the contamination, I was pale-faced, and Jack said, "It's a shame the result turned out this way because you didn't make proper quiches. You'll need to write a report on this." I remember Jack had a brief smirk after saying that. I, having no recollection of such a mistake, confronted Jack. "Wait a minute, there's no way something could have gotten mixed in during the process. I always ensure everything is checked thoroughly. This has never happened before." "So what are you saying? Are you implying that the customer is lying?" "I've never said anything like that." I began to suspect Jack when I saw his smirking face. He was the one who had displayed those quiches in the store. But there was no proof. I couldn't think of any reason why Jack would do such a thing. Then, an unexpected person appeared before us. Seeing this person, Jack's eyes widened in fear. Mr. Thompson, Emily's father, the president of the supermarket, Mr. Thompson, glared at Jack and continued, "I've been listening to the conversation. You just asked Emily, why does the lady know about that? What do you mean by that?" "No, I was just wondering why she knew about Michael's complaint." Jack stammered his response. "Michael and my daughter are in a relationship. They would discuss such things. The issue is why you reacted to that conversation. That is." Jack slumped, weakened by Mr. Thompson's words. Then, suddenly, he apologized to me. "I'm sorry. I thought if you became a full-time employee, my position would be at risk." Why would that be the case? That is, Jack fumbled for words at my question. "Let's discuss this in another room." "Yes." Mr. Thompson said this and walked away with Jack. As they left the venue, we looked at each other. Why did Jack do such a thing? I was consumed by these thoughts until the ceremony ended. Mr. Thompson later revealed that Jack was worried that if I, a diligent worker, became full-time, I would quickly surpass and outshine him. It's jealousy, I suppose. It's regrettable that such a person is an employee of my company. After the ceremony, in the back room, Mr. Thompson finished explaining the situation to me. I can't believe he had such a childish motive, and to cause trouble for a customer, that's outrageous. I intend to take some action against him. It was an unbelievable act, causing trouble for an innocent customer, a justified consequence indeed. Now, let's put this unpleasantness behind us. By the way, how is that plan of yours coming along? Yes, it seems to be on track, I replied cheerfully to Mr. Thompson's words. It's sad to lose a skilled and experienced part-timer like you, but this was my suggestion after all. Yes, thanks to that, it looks like Emily and I will have a good life together. She is our only daughter. Take good care of her. Yes, I understand. And a year after the wedding, I had left the supermarket and opened my own store. It was a small deli. We managed to open the store with savings I had accumulated over the years and Emily's savings. I was surprised when your father suggested I start my own shop. Owning a deli has been my dream since high school. High school, huh? To think we had met back then. Really? As it turns out, Emily and I had met once, 10 years ago. Back then, Emily, in her rebellious phase and often clashing with her parents, frequently ran away from home. I met her during one of those times when she had left home. Hey, young lady, what are you doing in front of a convenience store at this hour? It's none of your business. Seeing her sullen expression, I just couldn't leave her alone. So, I gave her the leftover quiches from the supermarket I was planning to have for dinner. Here, if you're hungry, eat this. It's better than staying hungry, right? It's none of your business. Just as she said that, her stomach growled. Oh no, my stomach just growled. See, I told you so. I laughed loudly beside her, who was embarrassed. After listening to her parents' complaints, I persuaded her and took her back home. She looked so different then, with heavy makeup and a much heavier body, that I didn't realize until she told me that she was the same girl I met back then. We must be deeply connected in some way. Thanks to your father providing the land, I was able to build my own shop. There are no rental spaces around here, so it was a big help. Your life is starting anew. Let's make delicious deli food together and make our community happy. Yeah, you're right. Gently, I touched Emily's stomach. Next year, our family will grow, and our days will be filled with joy. I'm determined to keep working hard. That's a promise I made to myself.